start.
And a lot of
Hi, welcome to our bonus interview for the Thrive with Lyme Summit. I'm Elizabeth Elliott of Fusion Stretch and Wellness in Louisville, Kentucky. And tonight we have Chris and Kari Ostby, who are also local. You're in Kentucky, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you for being here.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
And you all are in Louisville too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, so I found you randomly because I picked up a business card.
Sure.
And I want you to share a little bit about your story with Lyme. I know you all run a support group, which was originally called the Kentuckiana Lyme Support Group, right? But it has changed. You said the Lyme Autoimmune Environmental Support Group now, right?
Environmental medicine, yes.
Environmental medicine, okay. And so my guess is you were involved because you've had Lyme, right? Or maybe somebody you know has had Lyme disease, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so sort of the short story on our past is I used to work in hospital administration, respiratory therapist, and sleep medicine and some other things. And I thought I knew who all the quote good doctors were. And then when, I actually started getting sick, I found out that that was kind of a fallacy. Wasn't sure where to turn. And, at one point I was in a mobility scooter and walked with a cane when I could walk. Certainly couldn't have this conversation with you because my voice went away. And then Kari was, she was half a step behind me because she was having the same kind of issues. And so that forced us to sort of rethink things. And to be honest, it was our insurance agent that said, "Hey, my father's a doctor. You need to go see this guy." And he was up the road a little bit in Indianapolis, and so we did. We went to see him, and after 2.5 years of over 150 doctor appointments, not different doctors, but appointments per year, and that included Cleveland Clinic, Vanderbilt, and some others. We found out that within 30 minutes, the guy says, "I know what's wrong with you. I just got to prove it." And he did.
He did.
And so, here we are today.
He saved our lives.
Right. He has, since passed on, but he connected me with some, I'll just say, really good information, gave me some good contacts and that kind of thing. And so I started going to the same conferences that Lyme doctors and integrative medicine docs go to, and naturopaths and this kind of thing. And so that got us out of the mobility scooter and back to a mostly normal life. And so we're forever thankful for that. We've just been fortunate that we have made connections that most people don't get. A couple of them are on your program. We know Lynn Green. We had Dr. Nick, I think 2 years ago as a guest speaker. And so, you start, I don't want to say you create new friends, but your surroundings certainly change. And, ours has been, we've got contacts all over the country. So it just works out.
Right. So now was the guy in Indianapolis considered a Lyme literate doctor?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But he's since passed. Now, did he do the IGeneX test or did
something similar, but it was called iSpot.
Yeah.
And
it was always an option. But when, the test he did came back positive and a couple other things that he checked were positive, it was, there wasn't any other option. This is just what it is.
Right.
So now you're the first to mention the iSpot test. Is that still used?
To be honest, I'm not sure. The rep for it, even though we took it in Indianapolis, the rep for it actually lives here in Louisville,
Okay.
but she's no longer the rep. And so
Mhm.
I'm not sure if that's still an active, it was Pharmasan Labs was
Mhm.
laboratory, and it was just called the I Spot Lyme. We did that, and some other more lab core like blood work, and that's just there wasn't any other option. That's what it was.
Right. So, when you all meet for your support group, do you all talk about resources? Do you share those resources with individuals? I mean, like I randomly picked up your card.
Right.
So
So,
what we really kind of do is, the social media space is we treat that as something different.
mhm,
The Zoom meetings that
mhm,
we do those twice a month, and so we sort of started from a grassroots perspective, just local folks talking once a month or whatever, getting together, and to be true to our roots. We have 2 meetings a month. We always make one of them our small grassroots kind of session where there is no real agenda.
mhm.
That it's really just people coming to say, hey, I've tried this, or what do you know about that? These kinds of things. And we have a few practitioners of various, titles that drop in from time to time to, put their perspective on it as well.
Mhm.
The other meeting each month during the warmer months, I have a guest speaker come. And so, I have Joe Burrascano coming later, Ryan Cole, there's some others. Um, so during the warmer months, when we have a larger crowd and that kind of thing, I can support the guest speakers. And so
Mhm.
we're glad to be able to do that because it gives people a chance to talk to people that either they otherwise might not be able to, or you're in this space. Sometimes it's not within their means to talk to some of these. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So it just gives them an open floor because when we have the guest speakers, we do not ask for a presentation.
Right.
We if we want to share slides, great, we can do some of that, but really we just want the Q&A back and forth, and so that's what we do.
Right. And I know for me, that has been, I'm new to Lyme. My daughter got Lyme. And after all of these conversations, definitely want to test for Lyme actually. But right now my daughter's, tested positive in April 2021. And I feel like I just had a drop in the bucket of knowledge. And I look forward to, get hopping on your Zoom meetings on a regular basis now that
Sure.
my
Yeah.
interviews are, coming to an end. It's been a lot of work and a lot of time, and every conversation has been fascinating. And I just had no idea how Lyme could affect, well, so many people, and then in so many different ways.
Right.
It's
Uh,
a lot of a topic as COVID, as cancer, and a lot of other things, but because of its, we'll say, shady history, uh,
mhm.
it's not first on most people's minds.
Right. No, it isn't. And uh, if my daughter hadn't seen that TikTok video, I might have written it off a little bit, for us to get that test.
Right.
She saw a TikTok video, Mom, you've got to take me. I was like, okay. And she leans towards a little bit of anxiety anyway. And I've taken her before, and, nothing's been wrong at certain times, so I was like, okay. But that one was almost instantaneous. Do you all remember getting a tick bite?
I do not. I might have personally been born with it, but we just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I had symptoms as early as, third grade that could have been a result of Lyme. My mom, who's now passed, she had some suspicious symptoms.
Mhm.
So I could have been born with it, but don't know. Chris, he does remember a bullseye.
I had a bullseye in 1992. I kind of grew up on a large lake in a southern part of the state. And so I was used to getting bit by bugs and spiders and stuff all the time, didn't think anything of it, except
Right.
I had this, it was a bullseye. And I thought, wow, that's a different kind of spider or whatever. And,
Mhm.
I didn't think past it other than that it registered as this is different.
Mhm.
That following, winter and everything, that's when symptoms started to accumulate. And
Mhm.
as time went on, they just got more and more and worse and worse. And then, we used to go camping a lot in the early 2000s.
Mhm.
You're sitting around a campfire getting nailed by mosquitoes and all these kinds of things. And kind of ironically, one of the couples that we used to sort of hang with while we were there, um, he he has Lyme too. And so, there's some speculation that says we were all sitting around a campfire one night and the same mosquito or whatever came out and got each one of us.
Mhm.
So we don't know. It doesn't matter. You got what you got. But we feel like that may have been sort of an activator or enough of immune suppressant to, let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, because
Right.
we spiraled out of control at that point. We both had some mild symptoms and inconveniences, and the types of things that your doctor says, oh well, you're now 20, so things start to happen when you turn 20. Things start to happen when you turn 30.
Mhm.
Well, at that point, no, these were becoming major. So that that campfire definitely got us all going.
Right. Now,
That's
you mentioned potentially mosquito, and that has been uh, talked about. And then I've also heard recently with almost every speaker that it's, beyond ticks, right?
yes.
Fleas
Yes.
and
It's
mosquito.
any insect that takes a blood meal. It is also transmitted sexually
Mhm.
and can be transmitted to the baby at birth.
Right. That's what I also have learned since this. So my question is, I know that uh, I think some believe that unless the bite has been or the tick has been on you for an extended period of
Stop right
time.
there. Nope.
What?
Nope.
Ticks don't wear Rolexes.
Okay. So,
That
I mean, it really doesn't matter if you get a bite, it
yes,
could transmit
yes,
something to
immediate.
you almost right away.
Yes,
Hmm. Um, and I mean, yeah, almost every one of you said that, and I haven't done enough digging to find that research, but I mean, it makes sense to me, right?
Yeah, so kind of what we found is there are three camps, right? There's the old original camp that says, you know, this is part of the shady past, but, take 3, 4 days or maybe even 2 weeks of doxy and it's over and done with. And if you still got symptoms after that, then it's something else.
Mhm.
That's the old original sort of stereotype. Um, since then, and partly we have to thank iLads for the awareness that they've brought to the table.
Mhm.
And so, one of the things that's come out of that is two more camps, really. One says, um, you know, 2 weeks or whatever of doxy won't do it.
Mhm.
And, you might need more like 2 months. of doxy or something else, whatever that doctor prefers.
Mhm.
Um, and that, it's bomb the bug, right?
Mhm.
And then the other side of the camp says, no, it's not about bombing the bug. It's why did your immune system fail to deal with it?
Mhm.
When you've already got, X number of latent viruses in the pot already,
Mhm.
you could have potentially had Lyme and didn't know it
Mhm.
until some stressor came along and was an immune challenge, and poof, there it is. And so,
Right.
what was the failure? So there's three camps. There's the old school, then there's bomb the bug, and then the other one is why did your immune system fail this time? So,
Right.
that's just what we have seen in talking to thousands of people across the country. And even in the conferences I go to, you'll
Mhm.
hear all three sides.
And actually, sort of to piggyback off that, we had the option to do the doxy or some other drugs, but we opted to go natural. And Chris and I, neither one have taken the first antibiotic to treat the Lyme, disease at all. So we went all natural, and we would repeat that today. It's
There's
been
no
great for
bias
us.
there. The message from us is that just know that it is possible
Yes.
in another way.
Yep.
With Carrie, she was still teaching, and her class situation, her kids weren't, let's just say they weren't the best of kids. So it was a very, very rough environment. And so the idea of a Herxheimer reaction was off the table. It's like
Right.
that put her in danger immediately.
Mhm.
And so, our first doc said, we can do it. It's just lower and slower.
Mhm.
And, we did. We got Carrie through several years of treatment and no Herxheimer whatsoever.
None.
And so it is hard. I'm not going to tell you that it was easy, but
So then, I mean, would you all say you all are in remission now, or how would you describe
Yes,
very much so.
for sure.
for how long?
Mm.
Oh, I've been in remission, I'd think, for probably about 3 years.
Oh,
maybe.
that's awesome.
We
3 or 4.
started all this particular journey and started the natural stuff in 2014.
Mhm.
Okay.
2014. And by 2017 or 18, we were rocking and rolling. We were doing really well.
In 2015 and 16, I was done with the mobility scooter, but I was coming off of walking with a cane.
Okay.
And so, I no longer need it, but that gives you a little bit of a time reference.
Yeah.
So then, when you say you took an all natural approach, did you integrate things like the hyperbaric oxygen chamber? I know you mentioned knowing Glenn Green, and did you integrate? I know a lot of people, it sounds like, have removed gluten and sugar. Some have removed the dairy.
The
And
only dietary change we made was a kind of a 90% organic diet.
Mhm.
We did not do, and I know this is different for everyone, but we just did not do the dairy free, gluten free, and all of that.
Right.
But we did clean up our diet from what we,
Yeah.
had been doing.
Mhm.
Terry likes to say that was sort of our number one supplement.
Yep.
Mhm.
Is changing the diet, but
To organic as much as possible. And we still eat out,
Right.
We
You still enjoy
have-
life.
Yeah, we still have, a dessert, but we are aware of those things, but
Yeah, we don't
we're
do it
just
all the
as
time.
organic as possible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so the answer to your question, really, Elizabeth, is we didn't do some of the the common dietary adjustments, but as far as incorporating things, yes, absolutely. We did the hyperbaric oxygen. We've done ozone IVs,
Mhm.
done numerous tinctures and these kinds of things.
Actually, we're sitting here in front of our ozone machine at home. We have a medical grade ozone machine here at home. We also have the
We have a Rife
Rife
machine.
machine.
I've been wanting to ask someone about the Rife machine because no one has mentioned the Rife machine. And I did reach out to a gal who has the Rife machine. She didn't feel like she had enough information and had not worked with enough Lyme patients to participate in the conversation, but I have
would
read.
reach out to Rachel Hornback. She is the practitioner here in Louisville.
Mhm.
That could really help you out probably with that.
Right. She has several Rifes in her clinic that
Mhm.
people come in and do, a 1 hour session or whatever. And then she's also a rep for a particular brand of
Mhm.
Rife.
Mhm.
So her knowledge base is pretty good.
Yeah.
But and we're not pro one brand or another.
Nope.
I know a cancer patient here in town who, he swears up and down Rife is the reason that he's still here.
Mhm. I've heard that about
But
Rife.
at the same time, he is so into Rife that at night he sleeps with 6 Rife machines going all at once.
Mm.
So, that everybody's got their own, you just have to follow your instincts and say what feels right for me.
Now, did you all add any herbal protocols? You said tinctures.
We did a lot of herbs.
Mhm.
Still
Yes.
do.
Still do.
The one that still makes my eyes wet, I don't take it much now because I'm in remission, but I do jump on it occasionally just because research nutritionals, and it's called BLT. And
What's that stand for?
It's an acronym for Borrelia Lyme treatment.
Mm.
You can call it a BLT sandwich in a bottle or whatever you want to, but that's what it really is.
yeah, and it literally, I mean, that's what our indie doctor put me on first.
Mhm.
And it literally saved my life. It was for years, the doctors would give me a medicine and I'd be like, oh, this is the miracle drug, after 2 or 3 days, this is gonna fix me. And they never did. And this one came along and I'm like, I think this might be a miracle drug.
Mhm.
And it stuck with me and it kept helping and kept helping and kept helping. It was so wonderful. So
we are not reps
No.
for anybody. We don't do, we
No.
don't take referral fees or any kind of stuff like that.
That's just the one that helped me.
We're
Well, I know-
entirely self-funded.
That brand was mentioned before. It wasn't that particular supplement. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and listen to which interview that is that specific brand. But in
Common
particular,
tincture.
something different. But
Common tinctures in the Lyme community are Research Nutritionals,
Mhm.
Beyond Balance, Byron White, and Dr. Cowden's formulas from Nutrimetics.
yeah,
Those are the go-tos. The Beyond Balance is handy sometimes when you have people that can't handle the alcohol in
Mhm.
most tinctures because
Mm.
are all glycerin. So, it's a way to get around the alcohol part.
Gotcha.
And with Lyme, it changes form and goes and hides and such, and it can get used to the BLT. So then you need to go and hit it with something else for a little while. So you're rotating a lot of times. So I rotated those other ones, in and out. But it was kind of like 50% of the time I was on the Research Nutritionals BLT, and the other 50% I'd rotate the other ones. But yeah, that's
one of the observations that we've had, over time, and just in talking to, different docs and stuff, is that it's especially if you're doing the natural route, it's good to have 2 things going at once. And even, I know he recently passed, but a lot of folks have good fondness for Stephen Herod Booner and his, natural protocols, including for Lyme. But even he was using two things at once. So,
Mhm.
whether that's cat's claw and artemisia or what, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Just different combinations and kind of rotating those around. And even the antibiotic side, frequently you'll see them either switch or do high doses of one thing and low doses of another at the same time.
Mhm.
So, that's just one of the things that has sort of evolved while we've been doing this.
Mhm.
It used to be the case, now we know that, if you hit it twice, especially if you use enzymes or something to sort of pierce that biofilm,
Right.
well, that's obviously helpful.
Right. Well, I know we're right here at time, and I've tried to keep all our interviews to 30 minutes. Will you please share with the audience uh, where we can find you and your support group? I think you said on Facebook, and
Yeah.
then where they can maybe either sign up for the Zoom link. How do they have access to that Zoom meeting?
Mostly they need to come through me. If they find me on Facebook, that's probably the most common way. And my middle name in there is Anderson. So Kari Anderson Ostby. I'm super easy to find on Facebook. Message me on Facebook and I can, just I'll hook them up with the meetings. I just need their email. We like to find out what state they're in just because we're tracking that. We're up to like 42 states and 7 foreign countries. But just their email and what state they're in, and I'll start sending them emails. I always send the emails out the day before a meeting. So this Thursday we do have a meeting. So Wednesday I'll send out the Zoom link,
Okay.
and
The Zoom
that's it.
meetings are by email link only.
Right.
Okay.
And so, I don't know if Carrie wants to give her email address or not, but if somebody's not really interested in the Facebook portion and they just want the live Zooms,
Yeah, I can do that.
we can do that.
Yeah, that my email would be KS as in Sam, and then my last name, OS as in Sam, T as in Tom, B as in boy, Y. Make sure it's ST, not TS. So many people put TS.
Okay.
But yeah, they
At
at gmail.com. So ksostby@gmail.com.
Okay.
And so if they're not on Facebook, they can email me that way.
Okay.
We're also on MeWe. We have the same name on MeWe. We're also on Telegram with the same name,
Okay.
and might eventually go to Twitter. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. So the name that they would be looking for on Facebook, MeWe, and Telegram would be the Lyme Autoimmune Environmental Support Medicine Group.
environmental
Almost.
medicine support. Yeah.
Lyme Autoimmune and Environmental Medicine Support. And
Oh, medicine and then support. Okay.
yeah, medicine support, and the word group is sometimes a part of the name, but you'd find us without it.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's what we do. So
Yeah,
Right.
because in our meetings, we only talk about Lyme probably 5 or 10% of the time. It's all the collateral damage and the mold that affects us and all of your immune system and what do you do to increase that. And so that's why we've got the mouthful name.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. I know that it definitely, as I said, very curious if I would test positive for Lyme because I was, diagnosed with the hypothyroid and some of the other symptoms that I've read along the way. They could just be related to that. But with my daughter having Lyme and knowing I've had many ticks land on me and lots of mosquito bites, I seem to be a haven for them. Anything is possible. And so, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna definitely
if I wasn't born with it, I had a mosquito bite that got me.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and well, I mean, with you saying it being sexually transmitted, I've talked to families with it,
Yep.
Kids, and then they see that their kids have it, then they go test themselves for Lyme, and like right before my daughter got tested for Lyme, like when you were talking about the immune system, was it her immune system about 6 months before she had shingles as a 15-year-old?
Uh-huh.
And then she got that tick bite, but I felt like, that really taxed her system there for a minute.
Right.
And in talking to John Fulbright, who does work with the bee venom, he either thought, her immune system was either taxed or potentially, maybe she even had Lyme before the shingles, because most 15-year-olds aren't getting shingles. And then it was just that much easier when she got the next tick bite for
That's right.
her to have a flare.
That's right.
It's like chicken or egg, who knows? I don't know. But the bottom line, just like with COVID, right, is to kind of go back and figure out how to boost your immune system, open up your detoxification pathways, and reduce your stress, and make whatever dietary changes work for you. It just, trying to, and just, you might get an idea from somebody that you've never thought of before.
Right.
By becoming a part of a support group. I know one gal really thrives. She said the red light therapy has been an integral part of her healing. She's done many of the other things mentioned.
Right.
But for her, red light therapy has been really beneficial.
I did that a long time. Planet Fitness has it. You can go in there and get red light therapy for $20 a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've done it there. That's good to know. I mean, I was wondering, was it the stand-up bed real quick and then we'll finish?
Yes.
It was. Okay. Yeah. It looked like it kind of vibrates or something, doesn't it? Does it?
It has a little disc in the
Yes.
bottom, but
Okay.
you don't have to use that.
But
Okay.
I did.
Okay. Yeah, I need to do that. I had asked about it, and I wasn't exactly sure if that was the same red light therapy that I was, had been hearing about or not. But I'm going to definitely go check it out
We'd
now.
love to have
So-
people join us. So
So-
yeah, reach out.
Let me throw this out there, because I know you're going to have, people watching or listening that say, well, that's all sounds great and good, but either one, I don't have the money for testing, or B, I don't have access to the individuals that can provide it.
Mm-hmm.
So over the years, we've put together a list of it's kind of long. It's about 20 some odd different tests that you can just get at LabCorp.
Oh, yeah. I wanted you to mention that.
It doesn't say Lyme or no Lyme,
Mhm.
but what it does do is it says, okay, look, if your test results all come out this way, kind of slanted one way,
Mhm.
then at the end of the day, what you'll have is it puts a box around the potential items that could be giving you the troubles.
Okay.
And Lyme included in that box, right? So
Mhm.
then it becomes an exercise of exclusion rather than seeking inclusion.
Okay.
And so, and some people's insurance won't do all 24 of them, but
Mhm.
there's about 8 on there that are sort of the meat and potatoes of it.
Mhm.
So, we found that, that's not too hard to get. Certainly general practitioners with an open mind to run.
Right.
Some of the infectious disease docs are a little harder to get to run that because they kind of see where it's going.
Right.
So, but integrative docs and that kind of stuff, it's easy.
But reach out to us and we can hook anyone up with all of that information.
Okay. Yeah. And you sent me that. I'd be curious later if you could text me which ones are the meat and potatoes. Right.
Sure.
Because it was a pretty long list, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact number, but it's 20 something.
Okay.
But there's about 8 or so on there that are really the most important.
But you really want to try and get as many as you can.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm going to go back here soon, and I'm going to have her run that panel. So
Yep. I'd run it all if you can.
yeah, I'm going to see if I can have them all run. So
Sorry about the video just not working, but It
I'm gonna,
is
I'll
what
throw
it
one
is.
last thing in there and I'll shut up. One of the test results that came back for me, kind of early on was, um, the IgG immune function in the 4 subclasses.
Mhm.
And so I was, down near 300 when most of your, immune docs want numbers 900, 1200, something like that.
Mhm.
I didn't feel too good then either. But and I'm not saying that nobody should do this at all, but the only option that was given to me was IVIG, every 21 days for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
And I said, no, there has to be another way. And, did I get it up to 1200? No, but I am in the 7 to 900 category. And I did it without any IVIG. I did it on my own. And so the message I'm trying to put forth is, don't let any one particular doctor say that there's only one way to do this. And that was our lesson. In
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
there
Right.
isn't a big cookie cutter way of doing it.
Right. Right. There's many ways up the mountain, many trails up that mountain.
That's right. Well, hope to see you sometime.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be there Thursday.
Sounds great.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will be sharing your interview tomorrow in an email. So I'll make sure you all are.
We appreciate your time and effort in doing this. We know it's
Yes.
hard, and kudos to you.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking care of your daughter.
Thank you. You all have a great evening.
All
You
right,
too.
good night.
Good night.
Good night.